This year's Grand National, according to the official handicapper, is one for the ages. He's saying it is the best Grand National of all time. I mean, we have the return of last year's first and second, who closely finished. It was a length and 3/4 winning distance last year. Many Clouds and Saint Dar, they're both returning to take on the challenge. We'll have a dual King George winner in Sylvian Conte, who won a Grade 1 last time out. And then you have all your usual young pretenders coming through. They're led by the Last Samurai, who won the Grimthorpe at Doncaster last time out. He's officially £12 well in the handicap, which is a massive advantage. A lot of people are tipping him up, maybe just a step too far this year. Then you have the lead of the Irish Challengers. And it's a race where Willie Mullins doesn't have the greatest record. I think his last winner was Hedge Hunter back in 2001, I believe that was. But you have people like Tony Martin, real handicap geniuses who send over their best runners every year, run them in Ireland, protect their mark, come over to England and try and take the big prize. So last year's winner, Many Clouds, heads the betting. Leighton Aspel going for his third winner in a row, which would be an excellent achievement. It's currently 8-1. It was an exceptional performance last year from Oliver Sherwood to get to win the race. For me, for picking a winner, 8-1 would be very short. I automatically would look away from a favourite to try and find a bit of value in a 40 runner handicap like that. But he has great chance, and for anybody looking to do a bet to finish the course, he'd have to be top of your list to get round. Next to betting is the Last Samurai, who I've already touched upon. Won the Grimthorpe last time out. I think it's just maybe lacks a little bit of experience. It's a massive field. It'll go off very, very quickly. I think the Last Samurai might maybe be caught out a bit early on, maybe a bit too far back in the pack. Sylvian Conte's next in the betting at 12-1. Officially the best horse in the race, probably by a distance. It's a multiple Grade 1 winner, won 2 King Georges. Trained by Paul Nicholls, who's won the race a couple of times. And my main problem, Sylvian Conte always struggled to win in the Cheltenham Gold Cup, which is 3 mile 2. You're going to Aintree, fair enough, it's a flat track, but it's an extra mile. I really couldn't see Sylvian Conte staying the trip. Next, there's a couple of ends 16-1. You have Hollywell, who run a very good prep race, finishing second at the Cheltenham Festival. Bit of a dodgy horse, can get worked up. I would be slightly concerned about that. I mean, you don't want to be spending energy if you're going to go and run 4.25 miles. The Druid's Nephew, 16-1. Bit of a local interest in that. Neil Mulholland, the trainer. He's born in Northern Ireland, so up the trains out of England. 16-1 was going brilliantly last year. Had won a handicap at Cheltenham leading up to it. Unfortunately, fell 5 out, but was well in contention. And it's one I think could go very close again this year. Also 16-1's last year's runners-up, Saint Dar. And his trainer, Tom George, is in excellent form at the minute. He's firing in winners left, right and centre. He would be one that I put on anybody's short list. Another one, like Many Clouds, you'd expect to finish the course for anybody looking for that sort of bet. Then the 20-1 is the start of the Irish horses, Gallant Oscar. Trained by Tony Martin and owned by JP McManus, who paid a very, very big fee to buy him with this race and only this race in mind. It looks like Barry Garrity's going to select this horse over Shut the Front Door, who was 5th last year in the race. And that speaks volumes. If Barry Garrity's choosing that over Shut the Front Door, then I reckon he'll be well in the mix. So finally, the most important thing then would be who I think is going to win the race. Last year tipped up Saint Dar, and as I've already mentioned, finished second. I'm going to stick with Saint Dar. One is a prep race at Doncaster. £2 better off in the weights this year, and has had a wind up, which generally brings on a bit of an improvement in a horse. And as I've already mentioned, his trainer is on great form. So I'll stick with Saint Dar for the win. In terms of places, I've mentioned the Druid's Nephew, very, very unlucky last year. They're both 16-1 them too, but I think the Druid's Nephew maybe just lack of pace at the end to win in a Grand National, where I think Saint Dar proved last year he has it. Another one I'll mention is Bishop's Road, trained by Kerry Lee, who has had a massive rise to the training ranks this year. Took over from her father at the start of the season, won a Welsh National in December, has won the Grand National trial with this horse at Haydock in February, won her first Grade 1 in Ireland there last week. She's a real one up and coming. At 25-1 for Bishop's Road, I think is good each way price. And then finally, one at a bigger price, O'Phelan's Boy. Now this is me talking from the heart here. I backed O'Phelan's Boy for the Welsh National. He didn't take his chance. They decided they wanted to have a go at the Cheltenham Gold Cup, but wasn't really up to that task, which you wouldn't necessarily expect of a Grand National winner. But he was up with the runners for a good 2.5 mile, leading them. And I just think a good ground, it'll definitely go the pace. Won an RSA as a novice. I think at 33 to 1, you have a good chance of getting place money there. And also with McLean's this week, you get 5 places compared to the usual 4, and guaranteed prices from 4 o'clock on Friday onwards. So our regular presenter, Adrian Logan, couldn't be with us today, but he has sent the word through for his selection for the Grand National. So this is probably one to avoid, but we'll let him have his moment anyway. Boston Bob, trained by Willie Mullins. Everybody knows about Willie Mullins. He's sending over a good few runners this week to try and win the Trainers' Championship. With Ruby Walsh on board, 25 to 1, fair enough bet each way. So he may be right.